Zhao dies at 84. Buhari, High BB, Governors Atiku, Tinubu, ACF. Man. And back to elections, we have with 377,955 votes, Obaseki gets is 4+4, and 8 burnt to death in lone accident on Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Still taking the headlines from the Nigerian Tribune, we have Joheso suspend strike, workers to resume today. 3 dead as flood wreaks havoc in Ilorin. Jubilation as Obaseki gets second term. APC wins in 5 local governments. PDP clears 13 local governments, and Obaseki salutes Edo people and assures of sustained development. Also, Edo APC says poll results killed and rejects result. Back to the Daily Trust, I have 8 die in Lagos Ibadan road accident, floods fury in Kwara, Nasarawa, Rivers. Also another story here. Jagada disowned thugs arrested with firearms, and that is for the Ondo 2020. Also, Akeredolu urges former aspirants to join his team, and we will take our message to the people. President, governors salute Senator Tinubu at 60. We will go on the short break now, and when we're back, we'll bring you details of the headlines.
Congratulations and celebration.
It's time to roll out the drums as the first radio ever to be owned by any labor union in Africa celebrates her first anniversary. Yes, it is Pensioners FM 106.7 Abarigo, Nireke, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. Voice of Liberation. Highlight of the week-long celebration includes special anniversary interactive programs on radio from Sunday, the 20th of September 2020, during which veteran presenters, newscasters, and special guests will be paraded on air. There will also be anniversary lecture on radio, pensioners special fitness program on air, and general assessment of Pensioners FM existing programs. We are calling on individuals and all lovers of this radio station, associations, religious bodies, professionals, corporate organizations, ministries, departments, agencies, parastatals, artisans, traders, and all our stakeholders, both home and abroad, to support us. This will be in the form of increased patronage, visitation, donations, sterling greetings, and Google messages at an affordable cost. The grand finale is on Sunday, the 27th of September 2020. Congratulations, Nigeria Union of Pensioners, Oyo State. Happy celebration.
Congratulations and celebration.
All right, you're welcome back from that short break. And if you are just joining us, this is Newsville on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Before we go into the details of the stories earlier read, I'll take some headlines from Daily Trust newspaper. 78 firms bid to rehabilitate pipelines depot, and that is coming from the NNPC. Another leader of 1 million boys nabbed in Ibadan. Bandits on reprisal kidnap 42 persons in Zamfara. Also, EFCC will become toothless bulldog under ADF's control, and that is coming from Sarap. Foreign reserves rise by $140.9 million, now $35.81 billion. Kwara windstorm, 1 dead, 7 worshippers escaped death. Also, there's another story where we say 8 burnt to death in Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Also, APC, PDP exchanged words as please arrest Ondo and thugs. Now we'll take the details of the stories. The entire Edo State on Sunday afternoon erupted in jubilation as the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) declared Governor Godwin Obaseki of the People's Democratic Party as the winner of the governorship election held on Saturday. Obaseki beat his closest rival, Pastor Sage Ize-Iyamu of the All Progressive Congress APC by a margin of 84,336 votes, having polled a total of 307,995 votes in 13 local government areas, as against Iyamu's 223,619 votes garnered in 5 council areas. The pattern of the results showed that while Obaseki won in all 7 councils in the Edo State South Senatorial District, it jointly shares with Ize-Iyamu, the APC Edo North, where the former national chairman of the party, Adams Oshiomhole, hails from, just like the PDP running mate and deputy governor, Philip Shahibo. Another story now on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune, we have Buhari still on the election. Buhari Governor Saraki. Others congratulate Obaseki. Also, INEC chairman thanks staff. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has thanked staff of the commission for their conduct in the just concluded governorship election in Edo State. In a statement he issued shortly after the returning officer for Edo election, Professor Agbofure Rim Roke declared the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Godwin Obaseki, as the winner of the election. Professor Yakubu expressed appreciation to all those who worked to make the governorship election a good one. Now to the Daily Trust newspaper. 8 burnt, death in lone accident on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The Ogun State Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Ahmed Umar, says 8 persons were burned to death in an auto accident that occurred on Saturday night along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Umar, in a statement made available to newsmen, disclosed the incident occurred around Shakpadi Bridge on the highway. The accident, which occurred at about 8:45 in the evening, which resulted in the Mazda bus somersaulting severally before it went up into flames. Umar disclosed that 11 passengers, 1 female adult, 3 male adults, a child, 6 others who could not be identified were in the vehicle at the time of the incident. Still on the page, lightning kills 15 cows in Ekiti. No fewer than 15 cows belonging to herdsmen were struck dead by lightning on Saturday night on the outskirts of Ikogosi Ekiti community in Ekiti West local government area of Ekiti State. The Ashaoye of Ikogosi, Chief Ayo Ademilua, said it was a natural occurrence, which he described as strange in the town. Speaking with journalists via telephone on Sunday, Chief Ademilua revealed that the incident occurred at the Ikogosi Warm Spring site along Ikole Ekiti Road. Ikogosi Warm Spring is a notable recreational and tourist center where warm and cold springs converge. Still on the page, OPC warns kidnappers, terrorists in Oyo. Oyo State chapter of the Oodua People's Congress warned criminals to steer clear of advising towards checkmating the activities of criminals. The coordinator of OPC in the state, Rotimi Olumo, while speaking on the alert raised by the Are Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba Land, Iba Gani Adams, on the alleged influx of kidnappers and terrorists in the Okeogun area of the state, said the Yoruba should be grateful to Iba Adams for giving out such vital information. Oluwo said he had relocated to Okeogun area in obedience to Are Ona Kakanfo's directors. Now, also on page 23 of the Nigerian Tribune, will have more soldiers please deploy in Kaduna. Troops of the Nigerian Army and police operatives have been deployed on the Kaduna airport at the instance of the Kaduna Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai. The deployment also covers some strategic locations where aggressive fighting patrols are in progress by troops and police operatives. The Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, disclosed that the deployment was aimed at beefing up security around Kaduna Airport, Kaduna Biringwari Roundabout, and the Nigerian Defense Academy Road. We'll go on another short break, and when we're back, we'll bring you more stories.
congratulations. Happy birthday to you.
Hey, time don't reach to carry drum begin jollificate as we say the first radio station we go get on the by any labor union for inside Africa to celebrating first anniversary. Yes, so no be lie. Now Pensioners FM 106.7 West Sidon for Darrego, Nerega Ibadan, your state in Nigeria when be the voice of liberation. Plenty element in go surface so when go include special anniversary programs then we go allow people to for yarn on top of radio. This one now go kickstart on 28th September 2020. When we say for the matter, veteran presenters with them, newscaster plus special guests. Now you go the enter studio yarn for air one by one. Doing plenty. As we say, anniversary let yourself a good day on top of radio. You never finish show. Special fitness training on SF follow plus a general assessment of programs will bust out from Pensioners FM. Now this one can they make us they call on them individuals, associations, religious bodies, them professionals, corporate organization, ministry, department, agency, parastatals, artisans, traders, plus all our stakeholders, them we sit down for home and abroad, plus everybody we get we love before arts. Say make you support us. Your LF if it come from different angles, if you patronize us, pass the way you don't try before. If you even visit yourself, if you donate to give us, if you still drop a sterling greetings plus goodwill messages, this one are for shaking the money. The grand finale will be the Baba for all. I go shell it for Sunday, 27th of September 2020. Congratulations, Nigerian Union of Pensioners or your society. We wish you happy celebration.
All right, you are welcome back to Newsreel on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Now I'll flip through the pages of the Nation newspaper where I have another story here. CBN 7.5 trillion power market for new account holders. The financial sector will in the coming months see increased number of new account openings by grassroots customers and small businesses as the Central Bank of Nigeria's new policy on off-grid power firms operations take off. The Apex Bank had announced plans to create 7.5 trillion naira market share for off-grid power firms to boost energy access, promote financial inclusion and poverty reduction. In a new guideline for the off-grid power firms operations, the Apex Bank said energy access, financial inclusion and poverty reduction are linked and require rapid scale of pay-as-you-go to create the 7.5 trillion naira markets. Still on business, NIBSS urges banks to protect customers' accounts with home control. The Nigerian Interbank Settlement System has asked banks and other financial institutions to protect customers' accounts by extending operational controls to home where majority of the staff work. And this is due to COVID-19, like multi-factor authentication or multi-layered security structure, and ensuring that the secret login details are not exposed to the family members will help protect institutions and customers. Speaking at the Financial Institutions Training Center, at the weekend, she said bank customers and staff should be risk aware. Also, families have lost income to COVID-19, and that is coming from the World Bank. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to loss of income for many families and businesses, especially in the poorest countries. In a report by the World Bank, it explained that due to pandemics, in part, most children, more than 1 billion, have been out of school and could lose out an average half a year of schooling, adjusted for learning, translating into considerable monetary losses. World Bank Group President David Malpass said the pandemic puts a risk at the decade's progress in building human capital, including improvements in health, survival rates, school enrollment, and reduced stunting. The economic impact of the pandemic has been particularly deepened for women and for most disadvantaged families, leaving many vulnerable to food insecurity and poverty. Just to let you know that our analyst, William Zero, is here in the studios. Good morning.
Good morning. How was your night?
Very well.
Good morning, IB City.
Williams, yes, we go now into the Edo State elections. It has been concluded, and the winner, Godwin Obaseki, who polled 307,955 votes to beat his rival, Osage Zeyamo, who polled 223,619 votes. My question will be, how will you rate the conduct of the elections as an observer, particularly the virtual portal used by the Independent National Electoral Commission to upload results?
Well, that's called the ZPAD. What they told us they are going to deploy for live updating of these results. Well, I want to say congrats to for that innovation. At least it is an innovation, and I want to say congrats to them, and I want to also say congrats to the Edo State for this milestone, because it is a milestone to an extent. And although we are still holding our breath, we do not know the next. You see, election in this country is govern them for the next 4 years. Now we are waiting for Yamu and his APC party to see their own next line of action. If they chose to go the legal route, then we'll keep waiting. We'll see what the courts would say concerning the result, because we have seen instances where the people would choose who would govern them, and the court would choose who would lead the people. So as for now, the victory, as Obaseki said, the victory is as a result of the collective will of the people of Edo State. Now they've gotten their way. Now it's time for the job that they say they want to finish, to focus on that job. Personally, I do not care who leads Edo State, as long as the state is led to prosperity, as long as it is led the way a state ought to be led. I do not care who the governor is. Right now, Yamu and Obaseki, they've been saying to themselves, we are brothers. In fact, they call themselves brothers. Now is the time to walk the talk. If you truly believe that you have a love for the state, you have a love for your brother, that in fact it is your brother won the competition, so to speak. Now you have to close rank. Give him a call, embrace him, talk about how to move the state forward. I will advise him, strongly plead with him to not fall to the same gimmicks as going through the legal route to seek whatever justice he believes somehow has been denied him. So I would just say, right now, the people has their say, let their stay remain. You as a son of the soil, join hand with the governor, so as at least can move things a bit forward. But by and large, I say congrats to the people, to the governor-elect, to Yamu himself, because there has to be people that compete against themselves before you can get a winner. Obaseki cannot compete against himself, so he has been challenged to an extent. So it's now time for him to rise up to the occasion. So by and large, I want to say congrats to INEC for the timely announcement of the result. And though there were pockets of violence here and there, it is expected, because these are elections. So we must expect violence and some kind of shady.
I was just about to ask how you would score security agencies compared to past elections.
I think the activity was a bit tame this time around. I'm not from the news we received. There wasn't much interference. I think they stayed a bit back and observed what was going on. But of course, I had some occasions to say, look, there were some we heard that came to Unis and they were sharing money, and I was asking myself, were they arrested? Because part of the reason why we are there as a police personnel is to make sure those people that want to subvert the will of people
each time they come, they are apprehended, and the law of the land allowed to take its course. But by and large, I think this time around, they did as they should, as they should. And some are saying no, is that because perhaps the control at Abuja decided this time around to allow things to play out the way it ought to play out. That's why the police and the rest that were assigned to that state played according to the role. See, the thing is this: as a country, we can play according to the role. We can do it. Just that sometimes we allow our parochial interest to overshadow the rules and the bigger picture. So that is just it. But I say congrats. Looking forward to Ondo State and see what's going to happen in that state.
Okay, thank you for your thought. Okay, we'll go to another story from the Guardian newspaper where it is boldly written here: the federal government releases registration schedule as portal opens today for Survivor Fund. Just as we know, Survivor Fund is a conditional grant to support vulnerable micro and small enterprises in meeting payroll obligations and safeguard jobs from the shock of COVID-19 pandemic. Again, Williams, I will say, do you think this is the right step?
Whatever step is taken to assist the vulnerable.
Because as it is written here that the scheme targets an average of 35,000 individuals per state.
Well, it is a good scheme. That runs into about almost about 30,000 thereabout people in the country. So I think it is a good thing. Any effort towards assisting the vulnerable is a good one. But the issue or the problem really would be, what are the criteria? And how are they going to pick these vulnerable ones? We know that coming up with scheme has not been the problem in this country. Implementing that scheme the way it ought to be implemented, that is where the problem normally lies. I hope and I pray that this scheme would, meet the reason why it was thought up in the first place, and those that should benefit from it, they are allowed. Because most times we see these things, once they come up, it becomes a party thing. It becomes a party thing, or who's this assistance? And I think yes, it's a very good thing. It's a very good thing. But then we'll keep appealing to them. Make sure that your scheme is actually, for those that you want to assist, not for your cronies. If they can do that, I think it's a welcome idea.
There, listener, you can join the conversation by calling the studio line 0908 111 1067 0808 010 1067. It's Newsreel on Pensioners 106.7 FM. A three-story building of the Excel College, a private school in Ejigbo, Lagos, has collapsed days before reopening of secondary and private schools in the state. The building is located at Ile-Epo bus stop, Iyano, Ejigbo. NAN reports that public and private schools in Lagos are expected to resume today after about 6 months closure due to COVID-19. The Director General of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Olufemi Oke Osointolu, told newsmen that no person was trapped in the collapsed building. Williams, resurgence of building collapse in Lagos. There was another one in Anambra and some parts of despite the country industries canvassing about appropriate standards, preferring training, retraining to stem the tide. But here we are. Another collapse in Lagos. Your take?
In Lagos, there has been this plethora of collapsed buildings. And I think each upon each collapse, there will be a recall, or perhaps this idea to revamp the sector, to train and retrain and the operators in that building industry. But somehow it still it still happens, and I don't know exactly what is responsible for it.
You attributed it to visible distress, noting that the collapsed portion affected the second wing, visible cracks on the walls, pillars, decking.
To even think that that building housed a school. Thank God the children were not in school at this time. What one can only hazard a guess what would have happened, but it's not only in Lagos State. It's virtually all around.
All
Even,
around,
even here
yes.
in Ibadan,
Yeah,
you see some buildings. You could see the crack on the walls. You see people living inside that building. Now, perhaps it is due to poverty, they cannot find themselves in a different place because perhaps the money involved is not with them.
But how do we avert this?
If the government could come up with these housing estates, we've been talking about that for a while. Come up with housing estates that are affordable, so as these people can be able to change locations. If you do not have things to the people, perhaps that would also ginger them. But also those that you've seen some structures that are under construction, seemingly enormous structure collapsing upon itself. So that is not the issue of money. That is the issue of cutting corners, substandard equipment and the rest things, or perhaps unqualified architect or person. So this kind of people, there should be a stringent punishment meted out to people like this that cut corners and put the public in Ibadan and the rest things. The government perhaps should implement a scheme now that will maybe phase out these buildings, or look for ways to brace up the buildings so as people are not placed in an undue peril when these things come down. Because right now we have the rains. They are still here with us, and with the rain, these buildings tend to collapse a bit faster. So the government can do their own part. Those that has money that are trying to put up these buildings, they as well can make sure that those are the contract to build these structures for them. They are the qualified ones, so as we can avert something like this. But thank God that the one in Lagos, the children were not in school.
All right, thank you. We'll go now to the Nigerian Tribune, where we have another story. Fire raises three-story building in Abeokuta. An early morning fire on Sunday destroyed a three-story shopping mall in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The fire, it was gathered, started about 6:45 in the morning and raged for about 2 hours before it was contained by operatives of the State Fire Service. The building, which housed an electronics store, was completely destroyed, while the reason for outbreak was still unknown as at of the time of filing the report. However, residents of the area attributed the cause of high electricity voltage after light was restored to the area. Home appliances such as fridge, television set, air conditioners, among other goods worth millions of naira were destroyed by the fire. Now, OPC also wants kidnappers, terrorists in Oyo State chapter of the Oduas People's Congress warned criminals to stay clear of Oyo State, saying OPC in collaboration with other security outfits is already strategizing towards checkmating the activities of criminals. The coordinator of OPC in the state, Rotimi Olumo, while speaking on the alert raised by the Are Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land, Iba Gani Adams, on the alleged influx of kidnappers and terrorists into Okyogo, says Yorubas should be grateful to Iba Adams for giving out such vital information. Williams, were back to insecurity in the southwest.
That one is going to be with us for a while. Insecurity. But then I also commend Are for this alarm. I want to believe that he is not the first person that has raised this alarm. But
Okay, we have a caller. Hello.
Good morning, Williams.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, John and Doc is my name. I want to talk about Edo. I know you are from Benin, you are from Edo State.
Yes.
And let me just remind you that the late Bishop Benson Idahosa once said that the battle is of the Lord, not by mouth, but by action. But let me thank the President, INEC officials, and security organizations, and other stakeholders for the neutrality in the tension took place in Edo State last Saturday. But we won the election because God was on his side. Remember, his name is Godwin. The contest in my own view was between Godwin and Batiti and Adam Oshiomole, between Godfather and Godson, between light and darkness, between David and Goliath. Oshiomole retired the king and name as Godfather. Godwin had to retire the Oshiomole as Godfather. What a law of retributive justice. John Njoko is my name. Thank you.
Thank you for your thoughts, John Njoko. Okay, back
so
to
as I was saying,
yeah.
Insecurity is going to be with us for a while, but at least we must take steps to curb them. But what Iba Adam said, I want to believe that others have raised the same kind of alarm. But thank God for his person and for his position. Now we are taking it a bit serious. Now, to warn these people to stay clear of Oyo State, warning is not enough.
Because if this is coming from OPC, we need words from the Oyo Police Command, and also from residents. It looks more like we're sleeping on our oars.
It doesn't look that way. Yes, as Are Adams has said, people have been given information. Sometimes we do not hear what people have said. But because a man like Gani Adams has spoken now, somehow it will receive the kind of action it requires. Now that he has spoken, and we have all heard what he has said and his caution and his warning. Now the police and the agencies that should take this thing seriously, they must now begin to take it seriously. The government as well must also kind of like be on the neck of the police personnel and the SSS, the soldiers, all the arm of security we have in this country must also now be on their neck, trying to say, look, we have this information. What are we going to do about this information? Now, the people also, we have a greater stake here. We must open our eyes. We must be watchful because the police can't be everywhere. Since we are there, each time we see anything of such that tend to lean towards criminality, our responsibility as citizens is our civic duty to make sure the police.
Okay, we have a caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome. Your name and where you're calling from?
Is that Pensioner Radio?
Yes, this is Pensioners FM 106.7.
Is it possible to give where joy is and joy where bitter is? It's not possible. So joy is in Oyo State now. Anybody that group with themselves together against Ejima today, they are failed. So we cannot leave joy now. We are with all pensioners in Oyo State. We are enjoying with joy now.
Oh, we lost that call. Okay, yeah, take it again.
So, as I said, the people, we have a great responsibility because it is to ourselves. If we open our eyes and relay the information we gather from our environment, from our locals to the police. And look, this, we see these activities in this area. Please come and look into what is happening in this area. It's our duty. Because if this is curbed, we will be able to sleep, with our eyes closed in the night. So the area has called. The police, they are aware now of what he has said, the area he has pointed to. They know of that area. Now it's time for them to do their recognizance and then look at what could be done in that area to curb that criminality in that area. They cannot say now that, they've not gotten the information. They have gotten the information from Are himself. So they must act on that information. The governor also must be watching whatever effort is being done now to make sure that criminality or that incidents in that locale is curbed.
Okay, thank you. Northern elites have thrown their weight behind the call by President Muhammadu Buhari by Northeast leaders to sack service chiefs owing to worsening security situation in the country, especially in the Northeast region. Among those that supported the firing of the security top brass was a delegate to the 2014 National Conference, Tony Yam, human rights activist and former liaison officer to the late president, Shehu Shagari, Alhaji Tanko Yakasai, President Arawa Youth Consultative Forum, Alhaji Yerima Shetima, and another northern activist, Dr. Tanko Yusuf. The Northeast Elders, under the aegis of Coalition of Northeast Elders for Peace and Development, had during the weekend expressed worries over growing insecurity, saying excuses being tendered by service chiefs were no longer acceptable to them. The elders, who made their position known in the statement, called on President Muhammadu Buhari to, as a matter of urgency, listen to Nigerians by implementing a recent resolution by the National Assembly asking him to rejig the country's security design. My question is towards that direction. Your take?
Yeah,
Should it be rejigged?
This, yes, it should. We've been talking about this for a while now. That at least there should be a change of bathing. And these security chiefs, yes, they have done their best, but under them there is this increase in criminality and insecurity in this country. So, as a service chief, if you are not able to stem the tide of something, then somebody should be brought in to bring a different view to the fight. Now, they have not done much in the area of curbing insecurity in this country. In fact, under them, it has escalated. So, if it has, then which means you are not doing your duty or you are not up to the task. So, it shouldn't be about politics or about friendship. It's about duty, about responsibility. And you've not been able to carry out your responsibility as a security chief. So if that is happening, then each day you spend there more is a day the lives of Nigerians are placed in peril. And we see it every day. So the call has been coming. Hopefully, since some notable elders have come into it now, perhaps the president would look into it and decide to say, look, it is time for. In fact, those guys, they've been there for 5 years now, or thereabouts, and we've not seen any kind of improvement. So at least you're giving your best. Your best, sadly, is not good enough. Let's bring in a fresh mind, fresh ideas. Let's see if they can also, do something. But the thing is this: these people, they are answerable to the president. And each time the president talks about them, it's as if he's making excuses for their failures. So one would ask, why would the president that is interested in security be making excuses for the failures of the service chiefs? So you would not ask, is it their failure, as the service chiefs, is it their failure, or perhaps they are working according to the kind of directives they've been given? So if it is their failure, now is the time for the president to say, look, step aside, so as we bring in fresh blood, fresh ideas to combat this insecurity in the country.
All right. The managing director and chief executive officer of the Pensioners Radio and executive secretary, Nigerian Union of Pensioners, or your State Council, Comrade Olusegun Abato, has described the establishment of the radio station as an idea to give a liberating voice not only to the union but every labor union across the globe. He stated these while speaking on Vision and Mission on the Live Radio Apparent, kickstarting the first anniversary of the radio station. Comrade Abato explained that the main vision of the radio station was to inform, educate, and entertain the listener in line with the rule and ethics of media broadcasts in Nigeria. The managing director and chief executive officer commended the Oyo State Council executives of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners for their support towards the establishment and sustenance of the radio station in the last 1 year. Comrade Abato equally commended the entire management and staff of the radio station for their commitment and self-sacrifice towards the progress and stability of the station. Also, the management of the Polytechnic Ibadan sacked Kelani Omotosho for alleged sexual misconduct. In a statement by the institution's registrar, Modupe Fawale, the lecturer was sacked for the act, which resulted in tarnishing the image of the institution. The sacked lecturer is of the Department of Urban and China's 106.7 FM. Special thanks to our amiable analyst, Williams Ero, for his thoughts this morning. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Inumidun, Afonja Adedeji. Thank you so much.
Pensioners FM, this is Africa's model. From the rising to the setting of the sun, here is the first labor radio in Africa.
Pensioners 106.7 FM.
Agbarigo Nireke Ibadan, a station for the elderly, the youths, the teenagers, and in fact, our children. It is a station for all. So come patronize us on Pensioners
106.7 FM.
Ibadan. All corporate organizations, ministries, departments, and agencies of government, government parastatals and commissions, artisans, private companies, market men and women, professional civil servants, and other categories of workers. This is your station. Just visit the marketing department of Pensioners
106.7 FM.
Agbarigo Nireke Ibadan, and you will be glad